right, everyone. Good news. We've got Alyssa Dinberg on the line. Let's see. Well, almost. There we go. Good morning, Alyssa.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm swell. Thank you very much for asking. I know that you've got some news to share regarding the survey, the Clear Creek County survey. Let's just get right down to it.
Yeah, our Clear Creek County Community Impact Survey is officially live. The mailed surveys were sent out last week, so those should be hitting mailboxes yesterday, today, hopefully tomorrow. So if you get an envelope that says Clear Creek County Impact Survey, please do not throw that away, and please make sure you take the survey.
So if you receive a piece of mail that you don't recognize, just look twice. Make sure that that it's not junk mail from some random retailer, because it could be this valuable survey that Alyssa has put together and is sending out to try and take the temperature of Clear Creek County. Let's talk about some of the details of that survey, Alyssa.
Sure. Yeah, happy to. So the survey has 23 questions. It is asking about your interest in getting the vaccine, if you've already received it or no. It's asking about whether you're able to pay for basic necessities during the pandemic. We're asking about whether you had to file for unemployment in the past year. A little bit of information about financial situation, obviously not asking for specific numbers, but just asking if your financial situation has gotten worse during COVID. And some other questions just to help us understand a little bit better about how COVID has impacted you. I have gotten some feedback from some people that want to take it, but they feel like their lives haven't necessarily been impacted by COVID, which is completely valid. But we want to make sure that everyone is taking it, whether their lives were impacted or not, so that we can get a good feel for how the county as a whole was impacted.
I find that pretty shocking that someone would actually say their life has not been impacted by COVID. Some people didn't. We know that a lot of people did lose their jobs, but we know that some people didn't. We know that people's financial situations haven't changed, some people. For some people, wearing a mask and staying home a little bit longer hasn't really drastically impacted their lives. I'm going to just say that they're fooling themselves if they don't think they've been impacted by the pandemic. Nevertheless, I understand some of those questions might be considered pretty personal information. What sort of safeguards for privacy have you instituted?
Yeah, that's a good question. None of the questions are directly linked to any personal identification information. They are all kept completely anonymous. I will not be able to see any of the information other than the combined answers. People will notice that we are asking for address, and the reason that we're doing that is to make sure that we're getting a strong representation of the county. Your address is not linked to your answers, so you will not. We will not be able to identify you based on the answers that you submit.
Is it address specifically to your physical address, or is it zip code address? What is the question?
Yeah, so it's your physical address. That's a good question. I know that a lot of people in the county have P.O. boxes, and so it's physical address. I'm really glad you asked that question. So it's going to be physical address, not P.O. box.
All right, and I understand that people can also take this online. Is that right?
Yeah, so people have 3 ways to take it. They can take it through the physical survey that was mailed out that everybody's going to be receiving. And just a quick note about that, the envelope that you'll be getting, it will have the COVID logo that the county's been using all throughout the pandemic, the Stay the Course logo. So you'll be able to recognize the envelope based on that. So that's one option. The second option is over the phone. People can take the survey. There's a 1888 number, and I need to pull that number up, but I can give people that number. And then they can also take it online at clearcreeksurvey.org. I apologize. clearcreeksurvey.org. And you just go there and you can answer it on that.
Okay, and I know you're searching for that phone number as we speak. I'll slip in another question that should be easy, and you can multitask as you look for that number. Are you looking for one response per household, or is it each individual?
That is a good question. So each household will receive one paper copy of the survey, but we are absolutely open to hearing from more than one person in the household. We know some people are living with family members that they're, so maybe like a mother and an aunt are living together. We know that people have roommates, and so we absolutely want to hear from everybody, but for cost purposes, we did just send it to one per household.
Well, that's where that online survey becomes so important for additional representation in the community. I always try to answer, just as a comment, I always try to answer when I get a survey. I got one this morning from the county regarding I-70, and it's a little bit of a pain to answer those questions, and they're kind of blunt instruments, but it gives them some sense of who we are and what our needs and hopes are. So I encourage everybody to look at the survey. What did you say? 17 questions. Let's see.
About 23 questions.
Oh, 23.
It's very easy to take. It should take less than 5 minutes to complete. Very easy answers.
Okay, so no deep thinking involved.
Nope.
That's great.
No deep thinking. Not trying to trick anybody.
Okay, so did you find that phone number, by the way?
I did, yes. So if you want to take the survey over the phone, and you will be speaking to a live person when you call, so you don't have to worry about dealing with an automated system, which is helpful. That phone number is 888-801-5368. I can say it one more time for everybody. And again, this number is if you want to take the survey over the phone versus the online version or the mailed version. That phone number is 888-801-5368.
And Alyssa, what hours of operation can we expect from that? I'm sure that if you call at 3 o'clock in the morning, nobody's going to pick it up.
Correct. It's during business hours. I believe that it goes until about 6 p.m. Don't quote me on that, but I do. It's during business hours, yeah. So if you call at like 1 in the morning, they're not going to answer.
So basically Monday through Friday during the day. That's the
correct.
Yeah. Why don't you give us that email address one more time? Some people were reaching for their pencils while you were saying it.
Yeah. So the website is clearcreeksurvey.org, and the phone number is 888-805-5368. And you only have to do one. You don't have to do it online and the phone. Just pick your choice.
Well, you've certainly made it as painless as possible. We appreciate that. Anything else you want to say about that? I got another question for you on another subject, but let's get through this survey. And
So I just wanted to encourage everyone to apply or to fill out the survey. All the responses that we get will help us direct any additional funding that the county receives. As everyone knows, the American Rescue Plan just passed. And so the county is expecting to receive about $1.8 million. We don't have the money yet, and we don't know exactly how we're able to spend that. But the thought is that this survey will guide the spending of that. We want to make sure that we're putting financial resources in the areas that need it most. And so rather than, making up what we think the needs are, we want to hear from the people that have been impacted to make sure that we're hitting all of the most critical areas of the county.
Well, Alyssa, you anticipated my question. That was exactly what I was going to ask. I assumed that the county was going to receive some funding through the CARES Act, and I was hoping that this might be related to that, and it sounds like it is. Do you have any sense of when some of those funds might be released?
We don't. I believe within the next 30 days we should know more. Unfortunately, I don't have more information on that right now. It's all kind of moving pretty quickly. The exciting thing about this new funding is that, as everybody is aware, the money that we received from CARES was really money to help immediate needs and almost make up for the impact that COVID had already made on the community. These new funds are really going to allow us to think forward and figure out how we can make the county better after the pandemic versus addressing the immediate needs. Obviously, we want to address the immediate needs as well, but because it is a significant amount of money, we're looking to do both with this new funding.
Yeah, $1.8 million is a chunk of change for a county our size. That's very encouraging to hear. Is that number set in stone, or is that some ballpark figure?
It is pretty set in stone. I mean, it's already been voted on and approved. I don't have the exact number. The number that was given to me a couple weeks ago was about 1.8. So I should know the exact amount to the penny in the coming weeks. The exciting thing is the municipalities are also receiving their own funding sources, so they'll be able to address needs at the municipal level as well.
So that's great. Living in Empire, I can expect some funds to be distributed directly to the town, and then the county will have funds as well that could serve some of my needs or all of our needs. That's great to hear, Alyssa, and I'm so glad that you're out in front of this thing, and I just hope that everyone participates. What sort of response would you consider productive and meaningful?
From the survey?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like for everybody to participate. That's my goal. I know that's unrealistic, but I want as many people as possible to respond.
Well, when you can't get people to take the vaccine, for God's sake, you're not going to get 100%. I hate to be realistic, but
no, I know. I'm an overachiever. What can I say?
Well, anyway, good luck with this process, and if you need to come back on to explain anything further, please feel free to give me a shout.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mark. And if anyone that's listening has questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am easily accessible, so I hope to hear from you.
Thanks again, Alyssa. We'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Goodbye.